Right, first job today is sort this generator out. I've got a few jobs to do to it. I've got a new belt, got a bigger radiator, and I've got a little control panel that basically it's got some alarms on it, and it's got an arrow meter on it as well. So let's get stuck in. So the first job is the belt. Maximum tension, and it's a bit loose. Okay, belt's on. Should we see if it squeals? That's better. I did 125 amps. So our next issue is this radiator. It's okay, it will keep up with cooling. The fan will never go off though, it just constantly, so it's right on the raggedy edge. And as well, it just heats up the engine room, which is good if you work in the engine room. But primarily we're not always working in the engine room, so we've got to move this radiator upstairs, and while we're moving upstairs, we've got a bit of an upgrade. So my solution to the problem is an old van radiator, big electric fan there, I bought a header tank off Amazon. So that can stay up here. Planning on putting it underneath this table, so then it'll blow excess heat from the generator, which is kind of a win-win. It makes the generator quite efficient then, doesn't it? So it's providing heat and electricity, so that's cool. Right, let's try and figure out where the pipes are going to go down. So we found a nice hole to run the pipes through. Beautiful, you can see the Jenny from here. But first we're going to cut this little bit of wood off here, because it'd be nice to be able to slide it underneath this table. Okay, so we've got our pipes now coming down from the radiator upstairs. So that one's going to go on there. The other one is going to go onto this one here. But first we need to drain the coolant. Right, they're all plumbed in now. I'm going to the pump. I'm going to the bottom of the heat exchanger. So let's go and fill the coolant up and run it. Make sure it circulates. No leaks at the moment. Oh, let's get it charging. There's no leaks up here. The level's dropped since I've topped it, so it's kind of hard to tell whether it's circulating or not. So what we need to do is keep an eye downstairs and monitor temperature, and obviously monitor levels up here. So I can actually feel a tiny bit of heat in the radiator. So if I touch it there, it's getting warm. This is where it comes in at the bottom. There's a slight bit of warmth here as well. So that means it is circulating, so that's good. Right, I've wired up the fan now. So the fan is controlled by a temperature relay that I can program to whatever I want it to do, which is actually on the return line from the radiator. So now it's just turned on. It's like amazingly powerful. Right, so I've mounted the control panel up here, so we can now start it from here. Bit better than bending over the engine. And now I've mounted the emergency stop. So as you walk into the engine room, you can stop it. Got an annoying noise sounder on it. So basically, see that it's engaged, because if you leave the stop solenoid engaged, it'll overheat. I've also mounted an hour meter, not very clear, but it says 0.5, I think. I've put another temperature sensor on it, so that's measuring engine coolant temperature sensor, but it's got a relay in it, so when you get above a certain coolant temperature, it sets off an alarm. Should we simulate? Sets off an alarm. So if it starts getting hot for any daft reason, we'll hear that throughout the boat, even with the Jenny on. So then we come down and do something about it. Right, so I've been working on this generator pretty much all day, doing these little updates, little fine tune here, tighten this, do the belt and all that sort of stuff. I think we should move on to some proper work now, shouldn't we? Let's go see where we left it off in the aft. Okay, so we left it with these glued up, so we need to sand all these back. I like how Gemma stacked them. So like dark, light, dark, light, dark. Pretty. So before we can fit these web frames, we need to put the 51 by 51 pieces in that go behind the beam shelf, down to here, push onto here. So let's go and cut those, and we'll have to open up the top then to slip them down. Good. So 800. So to fire up the Jenny is getting a bit low on the old battery, but it's up to temperature now. The little fan's going. Obviously you can't feel the waft of all the heat. It's pretty cool. Right, so the deck's open now. All my lovely heat is going out of them holes now, so we better move fast. Right, so we need to remove these bolts. So we can drop our new piece down, then we can drill through it all and it'll clamp it up. Obviously I've got it propped up on some pieces of wood to maintain the height. Right, so I've just cut the scarves. I think it's time to get the glue out. Yeah, it's going dark as well. That does look really good, that. Number 2. Right, so it's another day. It's day after yesterday. And these are all set up quite nice. So I think we need to cut all the glue off, give them a bit of a sand, and then we can get the sole back in. So currently there's a bit of a storm going on at the moment. It's blowing like 48 something, according to BBC, miles an hour, won't it? Getting blown around a bit. The boat's like, whoa, it's coming straight on the beam. See, like the line's going tight. So it's a good job we changed the lines, spun it a few weeks ago. Alright, let's crack on with this aft dead. Keep like swaying around because the boat's getting blown around quite a lot. Right, for us to fit these knees on here, we need to make this little spacer piece to go between the knee and the web frame. I think in the future we will be gluing these on, but at the moment we can take the knee off because it's all going to be using big bolts, so we can take the knee off and then these might actually get varnished. I think these will look really nice varnished against the paint, won't they? So I won't glue them on just yet. I think I want to glue them on, but not just yet. Right, so after the storm was passed, it was quite bad really. Didn't really sort of show you properly. It's kind of hard to show you a storm. But the tide's gone now, or going, it's not touching us. So the tide's out there. I don't know if you can see the horizon compared to the boat. So if we go over to our linometer, we're actually at just over 3.5 degrees listing to port. And the reason because we're leaning now is because you think Sarinda's made like a beautiful shaped hole, hasn't she, in the mud as she keeps floating, not floating, she keeps like squishing the mud out of the way. Beautiful shape for her. But because we've been blown from the starboard side and pushed towards the port side, no, we've been blown from the port side and pushed towards the starboard side. As we've come back down, we've basically sat half on our hole and then it makes us lean. So it happens quite often. The next tide, the next big tide, will basically refloat and then we'll resettle. Sometimes takes a minute to like sort the hole out, but so yeah, I'm at the moment I'm walking like a bit of a walking along like a weird person. Right, time to fit the knees. Right, knees are on. We've got a new camera, new microphones, posh. Right, so I think what we're going to do, because here's pretty secure now, but it'd be nice to see what the mirroring the other side of the boat, the port side of the boat it's like. But the problem is we've got a cabin in the way. It's in. I mean, currently this cabin could technically house 2 people. But at the moment it's just housing crap. But what we need to do is really see what's behind the scenes. So unfortunately all this has got to go. Even though it's not quite the standard we want to have when the boat's finished. So get it all out and then in the future we can replace it. So I think we'll pull all this out. What do you think, Gemma?
Well,
double press.
Let's make it quick because we have got water in about an hour. So if we rip it all out now, we can get the rubbish removed straight away off the boat.
First job, get rid of this door. Yes.
Yeah, you find a home for that.
Put my gloves on. I've been instructed to wear gloves.
Yes, because this is the rat room. So we've got some rat traps to get rid of and stuff, and there's a bit of rat poo, so definitely
But
gloves.
no rats.
No rat. We only ever seen them once, didn't we? So. Our safety helmet somewhere safe. One mattress. This port side's like the only area of the boat we've never seen, isn't it?
Yeah. Are we doing a big reveal?
I think so.
Who did set these bottom pieces on first? Oh. Bloody heating pipes.
Them heating pipes get in the way of everything. These bed bases are actually built with chipboard.
Hey. And they've survived.
Yeah.
You don't often get a chance to do this sort of thing. Well, actually, we do get a chance to do this thing. We got a chance to try and break a brand new boat the other day. Basically testing the boat for a company called Seastorm to see if we can find the weaknesses. You have to go over to our second channel, Ship Happens Adventures, to find out. Did you want that cupboard?
No. Did you?
Found 50p.
Whoa, we're rich.
Put that in my pocket.
Really want to see what's behind the panels. I want to see the wood.
Oh, how's the water going on?
It's coming.
Big reveal. Oh dear. It's the itchy stuff.
Oh. Doesn't look that good, to be honest.
Is it bad?
The tops of the frames don't look
Right.
the best there,
Okay.
but the bottoms do.
What's the boom shelf like?
It's in one piece so far. Do you know, a lot of people hate like this rock wall stuff as insulation, and I used to when we used to build the campers. But considering that's been in for like 40 years, it's bone dry, not mouldy in the slightest. Well, it's definitely one of the better areas on the boat, to be honest. Plywood doesn't like, but...
No, we know the plywood's... Well, it might sound... Actually, the upper beam shelf's quite good.
I know. Right, so by my very quick assessment there, I think we need to do one little top of the frame there and two little sisters on the frames there. And that's it. The web frames all look solid. They're both beam shelves.
Yeah, but I quite like... I don't know. I like how ours are joined.
Yeah, I know. But to like...
To do that, it's a
to
lot
do
of
that,
work.
you gotta do it all. So a lot of people do wonder, what do we do with all the rubbish from the boat? We have to deal with it all ourselves. So we're now going to go and put it in the boat, take it to the van. From the van, we're going to take it to the workshop. And from the workshop, we actually pay for a commercial big waste bin. So the lovely people with the big waste bin truck come round and empty it for us. So yeah, there's a lot that we have to deal with behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, we don't film because we usually lose cameras when we
Yes. So we've got a poop deck full of poop. So we'll go and deal with that. Right, what's the verdict?
Well, it actually looks really good. We need to give it a really good clean, don't we?
So obviously we've had an open leak. This one definitely needs replacing. One next to it looks fine. All the others look really good.
Yeah.
Apart from I've noticed here.
Yeah,
It actually feels solid, but I'm going to say that you could probably just stick some little sisters in them.
But the issue is the beam shelf.
Yes, because we've got to connect
Yeah.
this beam shelf
Yeah.
to the beam shelf that we still need to put in the port side in the engine room.
Yeah. And also after it's bad, the beam shelf. So for the sake of a month or so's work, I say I'm not a big fan of how they've joined, even though it survived this long, how they've extended the web frames. We could basically scarf it here because we know it's straight, it's completely straight from there to there. So we could actually take them out to get the new beam shelf in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to know that we've got a completely new beam shelf all the way around, wouldn't it? But I think what we should do is actually get it all nice.
Clean.
And then have a look under the sole as well.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, because we should have a shaft lock around here somewhere. Yeah.
Right, let's
make it workable.
clean up the rat droppings.
Yeah, and obviously we need these pipes here. These are heating pipes. And I've just realised, I didn't actually know that there was another radiator still in the circuit here, because I thought they were all fed from the other side, but... So I've just bled this one. It's getting warm. Would you like me to go and fix you a cup of tea?
Oh, yes, please. I hate flathead screws with a passion.
They're coming out though, aren't they?
Yeah.
They look prettier than crossheads.
We're taking the panel off the...
It's got to come off at some point. So we're in destruction mode now, aren't we?
Destruction mode. So I have noticed when I was cleaning the hull that this frame behind this web frame is a little bit poorly.
I mean...
So that is one that I didn't see earlier. So as you clean and you sort of see more, that at first you go, oh, it's fine, it's just that little frame there. But the more you dig into it, the more you actually realise, no, that's a bit poorly, that's a bit poorly. But it is so much better than the starboard side. But that's been the theme all the way through the boat, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not going to take us long at all in this area.
I think after a good jet wash, it'll highlight areas.
We still haven't seen what's below the floors. So...
But we may as well work. Well, we've still got a floor to stand on.
Yeah. So let me deal with all these boring flathead screws and do a bit more demolishing.
Alright, so we've taken the majority of the seal now. We've left this one at the moment because it's got a light attached to it. But while we're doing it...
Shwaya.
While we're doing it... But, yeah. I don't know what's behind.
Oh, he hasn't got that horrible polystyrene foam on that the other bulkhead had on.
Yeah.
That took me ages.
Oh, is that the actual bulkhead there though?
Yeah. Remember the one in the fuel tank room has covered in like a thin layer of polystyrene?
Yeah, it's just like an insulated stuff.
Yeah, but it's a bugger to get off.
No, come on.
Oh, is that on supply?
Oh, no. Yeah, it's straight onto the...
Ply at the top and double diagonal at the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't want to push too hard and sandwich your head in it. The original bulkhead looks in good condition.
Tip top. Ready for war.
It's a bit of a mess. I'm gonna have to do another rubbish removal trip soon. It's my job. Get
I
off.
want to go to the scraper, so I want to try. Oh yeah. I'm bored of that now.
Okay.
There you go.
I think this is going to make a right mess, isn't it? Oh yeah. Isn't it lovely when it comes off in a big piece? Bring my rubbish bin over. I'm so glad I hoovered up a minute ago. Oh, right. I need to address something. YouTube have made changes to the audio and they've put this new audio leveling stuff in. Now I spend a lot of time editing the audio in the videos, so I don't deafen people with tool noises and generator noises and stuff like that. So if you've got the option ticked for the audio leveling, all the work that I do is going out the window, and it's not going to be comfortable for you guys to watch, because you want to watch it where I lower the tool noise down so it doesn't deafen you. So go into your settings and press the little gear icon and it'll pop up there about the audio. Make sure it's off, because if it's not, as I say, it's not going to be the video I've edited for you guys. It's just, whether we're whispering or whether we're dead loud, YouTube are going to make it all one volume. So stick it off and make sure, obviously there will be some videos where maybe you might want it on, but for ours with the quietness and then the tool noises and stuff like that, make sure you've got it off. I might be a bit late to the party and telling you that, but yeah, for your comfort. So yeah, YouTube are trying to be clever, but in some situations it just doesn't work.
Yeah. I've been trying to grab hold of you for ages.
What are you doing up there? Wow. Oh, okay, so we're in the top aft saloon now.
Yeah. This is my first time having to go with this camera. So yeah, there's like a big access hole here.
Wasn't accessing much because it was all boarded over this side.
Yeah. You're looking at me? I don't know. So I don't know why that would be there. Maybe there was a slight difference in configuration at some point. This could have been like an escape hatch, I don't know. Got any ideas why it's there? Don't know.
Right, is it time to look under the floorboards for the first time? So these have never probably been up since the conversion because the beds and the wardrobes and everything are in the way, so... Oh, maybe I should have put my gloves on. Lost them. Oh, what happened to like... Corbies and I thought. Well, there's no ballast!
I don't remember where these go.
Just stick it there. Don't know what the little stick was all about there.
Oh, I think that's sort of fell down.
And that piece. Right. Whoop. No ballast. I'm quite happy with that. Aren't you glad there's no ballast to move though?
Yeah. I think the only ballast in the aft, there is a tiny bit under these, if I remember rightly, somewhere.
Got it. Ooh. It's cleaner than what you think it'd be, considering like, you know, 40-year-old bilge.
Yeah, it's like untouched, isn't it?
Yeah, it is like untouched.
Don't know why they put this wire through here. Look at that wire. Look at the proximity to the prop shaft. You best be careful when you touch stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a bit dodgy that, isn't it?
There's mains as well, so I need to trace that wire and I might see if we can do away with it.
Yeah, it's not the best place to have a socket on the floor now. Found a Crayola pencil.
What did it say, like?
Brown. It's actually brown colour as well. Your shaft's a bit rusty.
It's got a hole.
Bits of rust. No, bits of rust from your corroded shaft. Ah, that.
Sarinda shaft.
I'm just making the build more dirty here.
You're struggling with your camera. You know what? I hate new cameras. We've used GoPros all the time, even though I hate GoPros because they're just faulty. But it takes some getting used to, doesn't it? But I did watch some footage back the other day of this, and it makes me look like younger. And Gemma looks a bit younger as well.
So we're running on a DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and look, it like follows you by itself, but then you turn away from it and it loses your face and it goes, no, not going to follow you anymore. So let us know if you think the camera quality's improved at all or anything. But what I like about this is you can zoom in and out, which you can't do that with the GoPros, which has always been an issue. Yeah. Obviously this one's a bit more
narrower, isn't it?
It's a bit more, we've got to be a bit more careful with it because it's got a gimbal thing. So like the GoPros, we used to drop them in the bilge, just like. But yeah, if it's worth it, let us know. So look, I don't know what the stability is like. We're just sat here in the dark while Simon's replumbing the light. And I'm just like, I'm looking at this space and it's so big, and outside where there's a wardrobe, I'm thinking you could actually make this cabin a lot bigger. But then I said, is there any rules or any, beds in boats always sort of point fore and aft, don't they? Is there a reason why beds don't point sort of widthways? Is it more comfortable having your bed pointing fore and aft? Because I'm actually thinking here, let me, you can't really see it because it's dark, but we could get rid of the cupboard outside and actually have a bed. You could make this quite a big double cabin with more floor space, because the other one didn't really have any floor space. So I'm thinking we could rearrange this wall, get rid of that outside wardrobe, and you could have a low down bed maybe, or actually no, you have that one as your low down bed.
Yeah, no, that
and then a higher up bed along this wall, so your beds are sort of like staggered on an angle to be able to create more floor space and more of an open feeling, because like bunk beds sometimes you feel dead cramped, don't they? But then I said, well, is there a reason why people don't have beds sort of beam to beam? And obviously we're not boaty. We're not boaty enough to know that. So you might know, is the reason why all beds on boats point fore and aft? And is it just for the reason that most boats are skinny and you can't have a bed going widthways? Let me know in the comments, because that will be a big sort of, we need to know that before we can design this room. So imagine if we extended this wall out and got rid of that wardrobe. So this cabin sort of come from here to here. And then you could have a bed from there to there. And then a bed higher up from there to there. Because walls we're basically losing then is that wardrobe. And you could have a bed that ran from there to there.
Yeah, I mean,
or you could actually make the wall, it could come out all the way. So instead of coming down the stairs, it could actually come out. So there, you're narrowing this space.
No, you go from here to here.
On a bit of an angle.
Yeah, and then you have like a funny shaped mattress where your feet go.
Or your head would go this side and your feet would go under the other side, so you can still sit up in bed.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell people how to sleep.
You tell me how to sleep, you say, Gemma, stop snoring. Right, so we're going to give this all a good jet wash now.
Right, I'm using the camera now.
I'm going to make sure I don't fall over.
What are you doing?
I don't know, I'm just like getting me bearings. Tonight, Matthew.
Taking the steam cleaner.
So obviously we are using salt water because that's all we have, but because that's the best thing for the woods as well.
Yeah.
Right, I think we are going to have to let this dry off for a few days, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm fine. Right, just one last pour now. Right, so it's cleaned up. Rather nice, isn't it? So before we put all these floor panels, these sole panels back down, let's have a quick look under here. So we've obviously got our big shaft for our port engine and propeller. So we've got a big pill block bearing here, which that will have to be replaced at some point. It turns at the moment, as we know, because we can put it in and out of gear. There's no mad, crazy grumbles from it, but we will need to change it. So to change that, we need to undo the shaft from the aft part and off the engine, then off these bolts here. Then I'm hoping that the whole shaft will come out. We'll be able to take the shaft away. We'll be able to change that bearing, do other jobs to it. German give it a nice paint, make it look beautiful. Yeah, we've got a greaser here, which I do occasionally give a quick turn. There is grease in it. So there's obviously a bearing behind here. There's also another stuffing gland, packing gland there, which is quite interesting that we've got two packing glands. So we've got one here, so this is obviously engine room size, so this is to keep water in or out of the engine room, I'd say. But I'm not quite sure about... There's no water getting to that, is there? So that's interesting. So I don't know how tight you run those. We've obviously got a packing gland on the shaft log. So I wonder if the plywood, on the starboard side, the plywood on the shaft log was all dodgy. Let's have a look at that. So yeah, the plywood on the shaft log isn't... It's not as bad as the other side, but it definitely needs replacing with a different material. We need to take all this packing gland out, all the stuffing gland out of there, the stuffing box, whatever it's called. Get all that beautiful. Obviously there's a lot of scale on all these flanges. They all won't coming off, but...
Woodwork wise down there.
Yeah, actually, yeah, woodwork's great. It is actually really good. Obviously, we'll probably want another pass of cleaning at some point, and then a good paint, and good to go.
So, initial assessment of the woodwork is actually surprisingly good. So far, there's these little frames, not even that rotten, but they've got a couple of cracks in them. So I'm going to say the tops of these two frames can be sisted. Everything else, all the stringers and web frames, and even the beam shelf is quite good. Now, the issue that we've got is we need to connect the beam shelf that we're putting in all the way down the boat to this one if we're going to keep it. And it's worth keeping this one because if we were to replace it, obviously we will do if it needs it, but looking at it now, this section doesn't need replacing. And then it saves taking off all the web frames because they're all really good as well. The only really one that we need to take off is this one because the frame behind it is rotten. But we'd need to take that one off anyway to be able to connect our beam shelf to this beam shelf. So all that we need to do there is two sisters, this web frame and this frame here. And I think we're good.
What are the planks like?
The planks are... So there's no planks to do in here. So basically I think this, to get the frames done in here, it's probably like a day's work. So... yeah, that's it's quite obviously, it's a shame that, well, the sisters, we won't even have to open up because there's enough space to get some sisters down, but we will have to sort of reveal the top of the deck to get the frame behind this one down.
What about the upper beam shelf?
Well, that's good as well. Look. So, yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy this side. But I think it's obviously only one cabin and it's only a small section. So we've got this cabin, we've got another cabin behind it, and then we've got the transom area. Now we know the transom area cabin needs a lot of work. So I think what we need to do next is remove the last cabin to fully assess all the way down the aft end.
So I think the next cabin along is for a job for next time, isn't it?
Yes. So come back next week to see
if
it continues to be really good or see if it holds any more surprises for us.
Yep.
So thank you all so much for watching and for liking, commenting and supporting us, because without you guys this wouldn't be possible.
Yep.
So see you all next week.
See you this week.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Very, very poorly hull. I don't even want to poke that. That is definitely the worst bit of planking I've ever seen on the boat.